I'm Anil Kumar, and now I'll take a few videos on inverse of functions. These are from a worksheet of a IB student, grade 10. Find inverse of f of x equals to x squared plus 6, satisfying f inverse of 7 equals to minus 1. So let us first find the inverse of the function, and then we will see the later half of this question. F of x is equal to x squared plus 6. To find inverse, we first write it in the form of y equals to the function, and then we swap x and y. So we can write this as x equals to y squared plus 6, and now we need to isolate y. So we'll take 6 on the left side, so we get y squared, and at this stage, to find y, we need to square root x minus 6. Now this is the time when we have to figure out which part of the square root should we consider, since inverse of this function should satisfy that f inverse of 7 is equal to minus 1. Normally I will be using plus and minus sign, correct? Now if I use both plus and minus sign, then the inverse is not a function, correct? That is kind of important. Now since we are given a constraint, it is kind of a constraint. Inverse is a function for us. Now which part of this we should take? That is a big question. Let us see that part. So let me first sketch the function itself. When I say x squared plus 6, let us say this is 6 for us. In that case, x squared plus 6 is a parabola which opens upwards from here. The steps will be 1, 3, 5, 7. So let me just sketch a parabola like this. Okay. Now it should be symmetrical, so not so good in any way. So basically, let us say the points here are, let me write down the points. That will make things clear. So this is 6 for us, and let us say that is 7 for us, right? Now for the y value of 7, we could have minus 1 or plus 1, correct? Because this is symmetrical. Now if I say f inverse of 7 is minus 1, what does that mean? It means that for the function itself, value at minus 1 should be equal to 7. Value at minus 1 should be equal to 7. That means we are looking into this half of the parabola, right? Now let me sketch and show you how we can find the answer. When you find the inverse, then the coordinate points flip. So instead of 0, 6, the coordinate will be 6, 0 for our parabola. Let me write here. Okay, let me just show. Now since we want at minus 1, the function at minus 1 is 7, and here we want 7 minus 1. We are looking for the lower half of the function. Do you see that? We are looking for this half where the coordinate point for us is, this is 6, right? So at 7, the value should be minus 1. This is what we mean, this point at 7 minus 1. And that is only the lower half. And therefore, when we do the square root, we'll consider the negative part of this function. Perfect. To satisfy this particular condition. So we'll say for f inverse of 7 equals to minus 1, f inverse x is equal to negative of x minus 6. So that is key in understanding this particular question. So when we have a question saying find inverse of f of x equals to x squared plus 6, satisfying that the inverse is a function, and on the inverse at 7 the value is minus 1. Do you see that part? Okay. Now as an extended exercise, I would like you to write the domain and range for the function which we are considering. So in fact, what we are really considering is f of x equals to x squared plus 6, where the domain is x belongs to real numbers, right? Where x is less than equal to 0. Do you see that? That is what the domain which we are looking for. And the range for that function is y greater than equal to 6 where y belongs to real numbers. And for the inverse of our function, these domain and range flip. And we have the domain as x belongs to real numbers where x is greater than equal to 6. While the range in this case will be, for the inverse function, y belongs to real numbers and y is less than equal to 0. So it changes. Do you see that? So that is the thing which you should understand from this particular video. We'll take up one more example for your practice. Thank you and all the best.